Hello, and welcome to Real Actors, Real Answers, the podcast where you are the star. Today, I would like to introduce you to a fantastic human being. He is a fantastic human being. He is a singer, a model, a minister, an actor, and he does so many marvelous things. His name is Brian Chrisagis from South
Very
Carolina.
good. No, that's good. They have called me Corsages. They've
Okay.
called us Chris August, but our real name is Chrisagis, so it doesn't matter how you want to say it. But we've been called many, many things. Chrisagian, we've been called. Eric Estrada called us that. So it's just real funny story. Then we get started. We had Eric on a Christmas show with us, and we are singers. So it was the three brothers. And my older brother was singing a song with Stephanie Busada. I don't know if you remember her, but she was a pioneer in Christian music. And it was Anthony Chrisagis and Stephanie Busada singing Yeshua HaMashiach. And that's what Eric was supposed to say as he introduced us. And we actually had something in his ears so he could actually say it, okay? But he said, Anthony Chrisagian and Stephanie Busada instead of Busada singing, and then he saw Yeshua HaMashiach on the cue cards, and he didn't even go there. He said, singing a wonderful song.
That's funny. So, how did you meet Eric Estrada? Since you just said that.
We started a TV show in our local area when we were 26 years old.
Wow.
And maybe even earlier, 24, 25, 26, somewhere. So we ran for 3 years. It was a Jim Henson type show, but they were really in need of morals and values and public television type things. So our news channel put us on, and we had 200 puppet characters that we created ourselves. And we started off in ministry at the age of 15 doing puppets, and we would sing. But we did this TV show for 3 years, and we wanted it to be a Jim Henson type thing. So, but with morals and values that would teach biblical principles. So we contacted Eric. He came on. He did several shows with us. Jennifer O'Neill did several shows. We just contacted everybody that we knew. And the ones that said they would do it, we brought them on and did some shows. It led us to have wonderful relationships with a bunch of these stars. But then we became Eric's personal assistant. For 18 years, we were his personal assistants, me and my twin brother, Shawn. And we were his webmasters, his merchandise geniuses, whatever you want to say. That we would come up with different merchandise like shirts and would sell us posters and fan club presidents, and everything he needed us to do, we did for him. So it was a blessing.
Wow. The only thing I knew about him at the time, when he was younger, he did a movie called The Cross and the Switchblade.
Yes, that was one of his best movies. That it still stands up to the test of time, and it's wonderful acting, but it's also such a wonderful story. And that's where Teen Challenge came from. But he's done so many movies. He did Honey Boy with Morgan Fairchild, where he was a boxer, and he did a bunch of them. There's I'm trying to think of Night of the Assassin or Hour of the Assassin. Tons of great movies. So, and he's did one with Robert Jurek, if you remember Robert Jurek, and Meredith Baxter. She Knows Too Much. So he did a ton of nice movies, and one called Angel. My mind at 57, I'm starting to lose it. But he did one with Cindy Williams, who was a dear friend of ours, and it was Angel something. I think it's Angel Face or something. But look him up because he's got some wonderful movies.
Okay, I didn't know all that. I was first impressed with, and I almost wanted to be a police officer because of Chips.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the most glamorous thing you could do, is ride a bike and do a little disco and things, and you know how he was.
Oh, he was. Every man wanted to be him. Every woman wanted to date him. So I wanted his smile. He had the most perfect teeth, didn't he?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, you
so
did.
and
Um,
we had posters of him on our wall when we were young, and then to get to know him and work with him. A lot of times they say that your heroes are not what you think they are. I thank God that Eric was everything we thought he was, and that much more to us. Now, I'm not
wow.
saying that he didn't, because I know some bad press in the past, but when we met him, he was a wonderful, wonderful man who was, and now he's an even more wonderful man because he's really dedicated his life to the Lord. And he's doing Christian movies, but he's also a real police officer, getting sex traffickers and putting them in prison. And my brother
Wow.
and I have been so proud of him over the years, and he's always been there for us. So I can't say what, because several people said, well, he was really something on chips, that he was, arrogant or whatever. We didn't know him back then, but everybody changes and everybody has paths. So, but
True.
he was our hero back then, and he's become a dear friend and family now. So,
Excellent. Beautiful. So let's talk about you, Brian. Um, how did you start out in singing and acting, and how did the ministry envelop those gifts? How did you
um,
enter in?
me and my brother Shawn were dying with allergies, and we were life-threatening allergies, and we were dying, and we were not expected to live, and we were in incubators for 2 whole years of our life. And our mom took us home after the incubator thing because the doctors didn't give us any help. So they sealed in the windows of our house for 5 more years, and we couldn't go outside. We weren't allowed to because we were allergic to the sun, we were allergic to grass, we were allergic to all types of clothes and all types of foods. So we just really were very sheltered kids. But during that time, we had each other. And Shawn and I started singing at a very young age and drawing and doing art. And we would make up stories and create things as twins. So we knew we had something because our parents said we were great. Okay, so we would sing and they just applauded. So we always wanted to be singers. And at the age of 15, after we were healed at the age of 7, the Lord healed us. It's a long story, but we were healed. We found the miracle of Jesus and breaking generational curses and all that stuff. And it's a wonderful story. Sometime I'll go into detail for you. But we were just healed by the power of God. And then at the age of 14 and 15, we started youth pastoring, and we started singing with our older brother. And it was the Chrisagis brothers Ministries. And while we were singing like that, we also then started being youth pastors in church, and that's when we started with the puppets. So, but then we recorded our first album at the age of 16 years old, and I'm 57 now. We had 14 CDs of music, original music, 14 CDs, and two of them were dedications to artists that we loved. So we redid some of their music. But overall, we did original music. And then because God had called us. We had several prophecies. I don't know if you're into prophecy, but we had several prophecies from different ministers that we were going to go to Hollywood and change lives, and we were going to set the captives free in Hollywood. We had about 5 different confirmations of that same word, and our mom said, "No, you're not going to Hollywood. Hollywood's coming to you." And she was right. Hollywood came to us. We did a TV show. We brought on different stars. We became dear friends of theirs. They put us on as their personal assistants. They wanted to have. You know what it was Shawn and I were so different from the normal people, and I'm not bragging. It was just we had a call on our life, and we were very different, and we had no what would you call it? No hidden agenda. We wanted these people saved. It's basically what we wanted. We wanted them to know Jesus, and we had no hidden agenda for ourselves. We were very selfless when it came to ourselves, and they saw that, and they also saw the love because we seemed to be still in the bubble even when we were out of the bubble because we had no, like I said, no ulterior motives, no beguile, nothing evil in us. We were just very innocent, and they loved that about us, that we were so innocent. that if they even said, "Do you want to smoke a joint?" would think they wanted to smoke our elbow, because that's how we so they just knew we would be great assistants, and we became their assistants. They introduced us to Joanne Blue, different we Jessica Leah, we got to work with, and we became his fan club president. Um, Lindsay Wagner, the list goes on. We just were very blessed by getting to meet different people: Lonnie Anderson, Catherine Bach, Jacqueline Smith, Cheryl Ladd, Jake the Snake Roberts, Barry Williams. We got to meet, and we worked with a lot of these people. We met a lot, we worked with a lot, and we got to minister to a lot of them and share the love of Jesus. Stephanie Powers from Heart to Heart, who's such a beautiful lady, and just a whole bunch of them. And it's Lorenzo Lamas. The
Wow.
list goes on. There was a lot of them, and each one was always a blessing to us, because and then they'd tell somebody else, and then they'd tell somebody, and then so it never really ended. And we realized that God, when He did give that word, He provided it for us. He not only gave us that word and gave us that vision, but He supplied every need that we had to get to those people, or open up doors for us to meet them and for them to receive, and spend time and talk, and get to know not only us, but the Jesus we served, which was a blessing.
So you, that's a lot you covered. But one thing
Yeah,
stood out among others. Your mother, help me if I get this right, uh, prophesied, no, you don't go to Hollywood. Hollywood's going to come to you. Is that right?
that's right. That was it.
So did you, was there a moment where you had to struggle with that, or did those people just kind of naturally flow to you?
We actually struggled with that word. We said, "Mom, you're going to ruin this word for us." We didn't understand it. And then, because the TV show opened up for us in our local area, then we understood it. And our mom was right on. And she was like E.F. Hutton. If she said it, it was going to come to pass. She truly heard the voice of God. She actually was the one who was the key to getting Jessica Leah and Jennifer O'Neill, because the Lord, she only had two audible voice experiences by the Lord, and one was for pray for Jennifer O'Neill, and the other one was for pray for Gastalia. And he was, during the time she had that word, he was in Munich, Germany, high on drugs and alcohol, jumping from a 12-story building in Munich, Germany, ready to end it all. And we didn't know this. Our mom didn't know this, but she was told by God to pray, and the prayers of the righteous availeth much. And he actually had an encounter with Jesus on that ledge. So while he's jumping, he heard the voice of God, and he felt a hand pull him back into the window, and he spoke. God spoke to him. And I know this sounds absolutely heavy duty, tutti fruity, but uh, God wanted his soul, and just like Jennifer O'Neill, he wanted hers too. But He wants all of their souls. He wants everybody's soul. It's just that there are certain people that we are called to bring to know Jesus, and those were the ones that we needed to go after. So we were praying, and when that happened, we sent Jack Scalia a note. And when he got this note, and we also did a website. We did a website for him. Our mom said, put up a website because Jack needs us again, and he's going to contact us. And it's a long story, but God, it was years of prayers, okay, years of these types of events, that we saw the hand of God. So we stopped doubting our mom, and we started believing what she said. And Jack contacted us. He said, "Who put up this website? Who gave you permission to put up this website? I should be suing you." And we said, "God." But how does he fight with that?
Right. Talk to
He
him,
can't
not
fight with
to
that.
me. Right.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So then he said, I'd love to know more. I'd love to meet you all." And then he told us his story. And it was the same month that our mom was praying. And we were amazed. Our mom was not amazed because she knew what God was going to do, but we were amazed. And we went out in our motorhome to see Jasper, and he was such a blessing. And all of them have been, I can honestly say we didn't have one bad experience with any of the stars that we were supposed to, who we were called to minister to. Um, we got to meet Suzanne Summers. We got to meet several of them. We were the kids, not kids. We were not kids. We were the twins on Candid Camera. So they came to Pennsylvania and filmed. Once again, we didn't have to go, and Suzanne Summers was the host of Candid Camera at that time. So it was
Wow.
her and Peter. So yeah, so we were blessed that we just it was always another door opens, another door opens, another So we never really had to push anything open. It was just, and then we started doing Christmas with the Stars to work with the stars we knew and give them a platform for Jesus because Hollywood didn't give them that platform. So me and my brother did concerts, like Christmas concerts, and we would bring in Lonnie Anderson or whoever. And Lonnie got to share that she was a Bible school teacher way back before she even got to she did Sunday school for kids, and way before she was a star. And she taught us how much which stories in the Bible she loved and all that stuff. So we got to give her a platform where she talked about her experience with the Lord and how she still loved the Lord. In fact, when she was married to Burt Reynolds, they put a chapel on their property. Many people don't remember that, but she had a chapel there because she was dedicated to God. So they just don't get to share their faith openly. But it's great to give them a platform. And Christmas with the Stars for the last 10 years was so successful. It was like it was a decade of Jake the Snake Roberts shared. He was in tears. The whole audience was crying. It's great to see their witness and how they witness for the Lord. But yeah, we did fun things too because Christmas is a fun time. Eric did the 12 Days of Christmas with the audience. And if you ever want to see a fiasco, Eric Estrada doing the 12 Days of Christmas has got to be one of the top lists.
I will have to look that up. um, um, when you first started, let's go back to the TV show originally. Okay, where
Mm-hmm.
God opened that door. Um, how did you feel when you went to audition? How did you feel? What was going through your mind, both of you, when this door started to
Candid
open
Camera.
up?
We
Yeah.
were so nervous about Candid Camera, and the reason was we were not. We didn't know we needed to be actors to be on Candid Camera. They got in trouble because we were not actors, and we were not SAG. We were not in SAG. But Joanne Flug, who was Candid Camera's prior host, do you remember Joanne Flug?
Yeah.
When Alan Font was there, she was the co-hostess. We were dear friends of her, and she put in a good word with Peter Font. They opened up the door for us to get into it, but we never knew that we needed to be part of SAG. So when they found out after they had filmed so many, they found out we were not SAG actors. Oh, we were in so much trouble. So no, we were a nervous wreck. We didn't know what we were doing. Um, Getting to do something on a national television show to us was like, oh, good grief, you're just a nervous wreck when it happens. But we said this is what we were called to, and we have to step out into it. And from there, A&E saw us. We were we aren't. I can tell you nothing we did. We never knew what we were doing. Okay, it just was two guys who were called to God that fell into every single thing that we did. Okay, so we were doing a Christmas card, me and my brother, for our ministry, and my grandmother had died that year, and I said I don't want to do anything serious because Shawn was always into doing something very classy, and I was the goofball, and I said let's do something fun. And he's like, why? Why would we do something? This is we're supposed to honor the Lord. Let's do something classy that represents our ministry well. I said, no, we're going to do something fun. So I decided to do the Christmas story, the Christmas story with Ralphie. Remember Ralphie? And I dressed up as the bunny. I was in the pink rabbit outfit. Shawn's
Okay.
dressed as Santa Claus. I went and got a BB gun, and we're standing at the Wheeling Parks. It was Oglebay, which is Wheeling Park, and it's a mansion museum. And we're standing there, and I didn't know it was a national park, but I'm standing there with a BB gun. And the photographer had a daughter, and we had toys. We did a line of children's toys, the top models and all these. So Sean's got all these toys as Santa Claus, and the daughter's standing in front of us, the camera woman's daughter, and I got the gun. So Ogilvy, the Rangers got a phone call from somebody saying that a deranged rabbit was on the loose with Santa Claus, and they had a hostage, a child. So they came and told us, "You're the Chrisagis brothers." When they found out who we were, they looked and they said, "Oh my gosh, you're the Chrisagis brothers." We said, "Yeah." They said, "You better get those outfits off because the police, the sheriff's department, is on its way here because we reported you as a deranged rabbit and Santa Claus got a hostage." So we got in our vehicle like O.J. Simpson, trying to get away from them. We never got the outfits off. 5 sheriff's department men, 1 woman, surrounded our vehicle. Okay, and to get up with your hands up, we got you surrounded. So I hop out as the rabbit. He gets out as Santa Claus. We're up against the car. They said, "Where's your weapon?" I reach in, get the weapon. I said, "Here it is." They pull their guns. We have video, people videotaping this and putting it on YouTube. Okay, so we look like these 2 idiots, and A&E saw it, and they contacted us because we were being arrested. And then A&E said, "You two are hysterical. We need to have you do a show for us." And we said, so we begged people to take that video down because it was just bad for our ministry. And it was ridiculous. But I always said that the license plate on the female officer was PMS 666. She was awful.
That's funny.
But yeah, so we were known as these 2 comics that we weren't even comics. We were ministers and singers and models. So they put us on Annie. They filmed a TV pilot, and it's on YouTube if you want to see it. But we did have that was the most scary thing we have ever done, to do an A&E pilot that they had already purchased. They bought it all. Okay, and then they signed us. They were actually signing us to a season, and then all of a sudden, what were they? Duck Dynasty came out and was bashing the gays, and because of that, the A&E said, "Well, you guys are Christian. I really don't. We don't need any more bashing of the gay lifestyle on our channel." So we said, "Well, honestly, we're not against the gays. Neither is Jesus." So if I don't know why Duck Dynasty felt the need to say what they said, it was so blunt, but we would say, you know what? The Bible says that Jesus came for all to be saved. He came into the world to love the world and to save it, not to condemn the world. So why should we condemn the world? We all have our own crosses. We all have our own things that we're dealing with, all of our own struggles. And their struggle may not be my struggle, but it's just as important as my struggle is. And my struggle, when Shawn passed away, my twin brother, after 40 years of ministry, we tried our best to live on the straight and narrow, where we never drank, we never smoked, we never ran around, we never did anything, we never even cussed. We were so into wanting to live for the Lord and be examples. And then when Shawn passed away, and my whole world came tumbling down. So because of that, I started drinking and smoking and using words I've never used before. But I felt God turned on me after all being so faithful to Him. And then I had words from people who were supposed to be Christians, and they said, "Well, you made your brother into a god, so God's mad at you, and He took your brother." And it just ripped me to shreds. And I turned on the church, I turned on God, and I wrestled with Him. It's been 2.5 years, and I just did a talk show 2 days ago, and all I did was cry on it. You got me at a better day. But it's been very hard. It's been very hard. So what a gay person struggles with, or what I may struggle with alcohol, or wanting to kill myself, or whatever my struggle is, and whatever somebody else's struggle is, you know what? Those are our crosses we bear. Not one is better or worse than the other. We're all in this together, and the only way we get out of it is picking up our cross daily, trying to serve the Lord the best we can. There's not one perfect person out there, and stop judging each other. Start helping each other, because we really need to help each other, and that's
Yeah.
really the thing.
You know, It reminds me everything you've said thus far. There's a saying: God doesn't call the qualified; He qualifies the called.
He did.
And when they lined you up, you in the rabbit suit and the little pellet gun, it's like, and then he got opened up A&E.
He opened up A&E, yeah.
He has
And
a
then from
he has a
A&E,
way.
we did a sitcom, which was I liked the sitcom even better. It was what was it called? Uh, me and my brother we inherited a hotel,
Oh,
something occupancy, double occupancy. That's what it's called, double
okay.
occupancy, and it's
Well,
on
I've never heard that.
YouTube. Yeah, because it
When
was being really promoted, and we were doing this show, and we already had a whole season of shows ready that we were going to do, and we were putting Jack Scalia on the show, and we were putting Lonnie Anderson on the show, and then all of a sudden what was it? COVID hit, and then
right,
when COVID hit, all of our financial means dried up, and that show went nowhere. Then it was all done. So, but it was so hysterical. It was such a cute show because we were inheriting this hotel from our uncle who we had never met, and the hotel we found out had all these problems with it, and we had three workers. Henry Cho was one of the people on the show. He was remember Henry Cho, the Oriental comic. Um,
yeah.
he's hysterical, and he was wonderful to work with. And we had Angela Prim from the Gaithers, who was a dear friend of ours at the time. And then we had what was his name? I can't remember the other one's name, but he was a well-known comic in Christian films. So it was really well done. But and Shawn was the smart twin. I was the dumb twin, and it was such a stretch for me. Okay, and my entire life I've been the dumb twin, but he was always the classy, put together twin, and I was the goofy twin. I was the rock star, and he was the so. But
That's
if you
funny.
want to watch it, both of those shows are on YouTube. But we were hacked by a group of witches. Our life it was just a mess. We were hacked by a group of witches because they didn't agree with our politics at the time. We were Republican. Okay, so we were Republicans, and then we were working for Hollywood, and then we
Are,
were
are you
you
talking
can tell
about the show now or in real life?
in real life
Oh,
because
okay.
we were the show had no political overtones at all, and I actually don't like to. Now I'm independent. I'm neither party, but at the time we were doing a lot of tea parties and me and Shawn thought, well, yeah, we want God back in America, da, 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 all that stuff. So we were doing that stuff, being booked at these different events, and then all of a sudden, somebody had written us and said, um, unknown. They said, "Do you believe everything the Tea Party stand for?" And we said, "Well, we like most of what we heard. I don't know. We were for Sarah Palin." And then all of a sudden, they said, "Barbara Streisand's going to hurt you." It was just some writing out of nowhere. And then they hacked our entire account. All of our 500 videos were gone. All of the stuff we did with the stars, every TV show from the time we were 26 with the puppets to even these other things. So we
Wow.
lost all of our videos, which was so harsh, and I don't have them up. So if anybody looks me up now to see what we have done, I do have those two shows up there. But other than that, there's very few. We had music videos that I was so proud of. We won an MTV. We were on MTV with music videos, and but now nothing's there, which is so sad. But Shawn and I did everything with a sense of humor. We got known. The very first thing that launched us, before anything that I had told you, was an MTV video that they picked up because we had done a children's video where it was called "Jesus Everywhere I Go," and Shawn's singing the song, and I was playing Jesus. It was like instead of touched by an angel, it was stalked by Jesus. I was stalking him everywhere he went.
It's
he's,
not a bad thing.
It was a lot of fun. He was in the bathroom brushing his teeth. I'm in the shower. It's Jesus. Okay. He's gambling. I'm watching him gamble. I turn over at the table. It was a lot of he's fishing, and instead when we pull up the thing, it's a man that we're fishing for men. So he was just he's going one way, and I'm carrying a sheep, and I grab him and pull him in the right direction. But I was wearing this frou-frou wig, and it was a lot of fun. We're on a motorcycle, and I'm putting my helmet on. She's set to wear a helmet. It was
That must have been so much fun.
it was a lot of fun. What we wanted to do with that, MTV took it and they aired it, and we got such an audience for it. But we wanted to do like My Favorite Martian, but being with Jesus, how Jesus and me was what we thought we'd do a show of. And it would be a lot of fun to show you Jesus goes with you everywhere. You can't, even if you go to a gambling casino, he is there with you. Wherever you go to a bar, guess what? He's still with you.
That's very true. Wow. Um, wow. You have quite the story. I love every minute of it.
Yeah, thank you. We
What
had
do
a
you
lot of fun. We had a
what do
lot
you
of fun.
what are you currently working on right now?
I'm doing a TV show called. I took the word depression. Somebody sent me this. I didn't come up with this. I wish I did. But it's depression, rearranging the word to I pressed on, and that's really what you get when you take
Wow.
depression. And I love that. And because I was in such a, I tried to kill myself numerous times. I was so depressed. I was looking forward to being with Shawn, and uh,
Oh,
it was so hard, and so out of my pain, somebody had suggested I do a show, and then somebody had sent me the name of this depression thing, and I thought, what a powerful name for a show. So I'm hosting. I did 2 seasons already of this show. Um, it's only been 2.5 years, but I filmed both seasons in 1 year. I filmed. Um, I filmed in 3 days, 24 episodes, and then 3 more days, 24 more episodes. And I talked to people like Jack Scalia, and he shares his story. I talked to people like Jennifer O'Neill after 9 marriages. She had 9 miscarriages from one abortion. She
nine? I'm sorry.
nine
Nine
marriages,
marriages, nine.
9 miscarriages after one abortion, 3 suicide attempts, electric shock treatment. She broke her neck and her back from a horse fall. She's gone through hell and back, and she lost her fortune numerous times and then rebuilt it. She's one of our best friends. I will say that she's my immediate family. I really don't have anybody else, but Jennifer is my immediate family, and my older brother who lives far away. But I mean, that's it. But she has been wonderful to me. But she was on the show, sharing her story. I had Kevin Sorbo on the show. I had Christina Ferrari. Do you remember Christina Ferrari?
Yes.
Um, yeah, she's got an incredible story. One of the sweetest people you'd ever. And then I had people like Russ Taff, who is a Christian music legend, who's been such a dear friend and brother in the Lord. Gary Chapman, who shares his struggle with Amy Grant and Vince Gill's affair, remember, and how he had to learn how to forgive them because he was married to Amy Grant. And Leon Patello, uh, the list goes on. I had some wonderful, wonderful,
Sure.
wonderful guests, and from Hollywood to Christian music to just normal everyday people who have a story. My co-host, I have 2 different co-hosts. I have Barbie Figueres, who's one of my best friends, beautiful young girl. She's actually not young. She's my age now. We're not that young, but middle age. But she's still beautiful. And then I have Brooke Corbett, who, my goodness gracious, this man has some story. He's a bodybuilder now, and he's 60 years old. He looks amazing, but he tried suicide. He actually was playing Russian roulette, and he shot himself in the head. The bullet went through, and he's still alive. And
Wow.
when I heard his story, my mouth was wide open. I thought, you do need to be my co-host because you understand pain. And he does. So I have had him on. I had John David Gregory, who has a story about being abused. He's a good actor, a wonderful
Good
actor,
friend, good
wonderful
friend
guy.
of good friend of mine. Yeah.
Is he? He's a
Yeah.
fabulous man. I love
Yeah.
him
He is.
dearly. He's been
Yeah.
a brother in the Lord, but he's a great actor. He was Kardashian's bodyguard. He's got a story. He was molested, was molested by a priest, a coach, and a friend. And what a struggle, but at the same time, what a testimony. And I'm going to have him. I think he's going to host a few shows with me because I think he's got so much to offer and such a
Where?
story.
Now this show you're talking about, it's the one that I pressed on. Did I get that right?
Yes, it's I
Okay.
pressed on.
um,
It's a show about overcoming, and basically, when I'm hearing their stories, that's helping me heal myself, and hopefully, my pain is healing them in some way.
absolutely. Where's it filmed at?
We film it in Las Vegas, which is
Oh, wow.
odd. That's why John David Gregory could actually be in the studio. He's right there.
Right.
Brooke lives in Vegas. Barbie and I flew out. We stayed with Todd Fisher and Catherine Hickman. Todd has an amazing story. Remember Debbie Reynolds' son, and he talks about bipolar disorder because of Carrie Fisher and everything. And then Catherine Hickman, she's one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. I've been dear friends of hers, and she shared her story. She's actually a hypnotist. I don't know if you know this, but she's a hypnotist. And I always joke. I said, Todd will never leave her because she's got the upper hand. He's going to love her forever.
It's
He's
fun.
going to stay married to her. No, but
Right.
she's such a wonderful Christian lady. And when she gave such inspiration on the show, she was in tears. She just was, and everybody who watched was in tears. I was in tears. So she shares her story. Um, just some wonderful, wonderful stories that people can watch it. It's on TCT, it's on Watchmen Network, it's on Roku, it's on Atlanta's 57. It's on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. And
Can you, Brian? You're 57.
I'm 57 years old. Yes.
Okay. Can you imagine yourself, and you look back, um, doing anything else?
I wish I had an easy life. We didn't have an easy life. Everything
No,
was
I
always a
know.
struggle. So
That's
if I could do it all over again, would I do it again? I don't. We had such a ball, even with all the disasters, all the struggles, because we were working on a shoestring budget. But God gave us favor, unmerited favor. I wish He gave us money; it would have been much better. But He gave us unmerited favors, so doors just opened for us, and people knew us everywhere. But I just wish a financial gain. There was none in anything we did, but many souls came to know Jesus. That's really the reward. And
that's your
then
reward.
what would I have done differently? Um, I think we had so much stress that I wish Shawn didn't have so much stress on his life. When you're in ministry like that, 40 years of ministry, 14 CDs, and all the things that we went through, um, you carry a lot of stress in your life. And he died of a blood clot that I didn't even see. We didn't take shock or anything, but he died in my arms, and I didn't see it coming. I didn't know what happened, so I'm screaming for the Lord. So if I could take anything back, I wish we had a normal, easy life. But when you're called to God, you really can't negotiate.
No,
No
no.
negotiation.
I always say you can ask. Oh my! I
Mhm.
tell my students and my fiance and myself, ask and you shall receive. You have not because you ask not. You're entitled as God's child to ask and to inquire, and I'm always doing that all the time. And then I have to practice, David, zip the lip, try and listen.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
um,
Yeah, I
but
relate. If there's several people gave me the book of Job to listen to read. I can't stand that book. I really can't. I do not like that book because they preach that it's the blessings afterwards that God gave them blessings, and really, I don't. How can you replace a brother, a twin? I can't lose a twin and get somebody back that is just,
Oh,
it's wonderful. And he had 10 children. He lost all 10, and then God gave him back 10. They say God gave him back 10. Actually, he was persistent. Forgive me, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, he had a lot of sex. Okay, so he was persistent. It really, and then the blessing was that he kept pressing on. It had nothing to do with, if he
oh,
would have given up, and the church is so stuck on prosperity that it gets to be disgusting. I can't replace my brother. So the way they describe it is wrong, but I relate to Elijah, who called down fire from heaven, and then the very next time he's hiding in a cave, wanting to die, asking God to kill him. Wasn't it Elijah?
I
I think
think
it was
so.
Elijah.
Yeah,
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 and he's asking God to kill him because Jezebel's going to kill him. That's who I can relate to, because my life is like on the high, and then the next moment oh, what was me? Kill me, God. I want to be good.
yeah.
Yeah, it's depression.
It's like when God speaks to me, and I through His Word, or usually as I'm walking, or brushing my teeth. But usually as I'm walking, okay, it's like I get so pumped and so excited that I'm going to take this step, and I know it's the right step, and I'm going to step, and I step, and it's euphoric and wow. And then I say, "What's the next step?" I haven't told you yet. Oh,
That's awesome.
you know, it's
Yeah,
it's
no,
patience. You know.
it is patience. It's patience. It's right now. My goal is I'm trying my best to be patient in seeing where the Christians are today. We
Yeah,
don't. There's a lot of hate out there, and
yeah.
Christians are part of the problem. They don't extend grace and mercy to people. The only person they give grace and mercy to is Donald Trump, and they show him so much mercy that uh, you know, but they don't give the same mercy to anybody else. And that really teased me off, because if you're giving mercy to the president of the United States, you should be giving mercy to every single person, because, they know he's not perfect, but they seem to lift him up and put him on a pedestal, which whenever I'm not MAGA, I'm Republican, but now I'm independent. And when I have posted something saying, okay, something, a flaw that I see in whatever, which it's a free country, I'm allowed to say it, okay? I would say the same thing about the Democrats. I could pick on the Democrats. I can pick on the Republicans. They're not my gods. My God is, I go by the Bible. But if as soon as they see the gays or the Democrats or the whatever, they will pick on their sin, but they give grace to the president. And I always say, dude, why do you pick and choose who you give grace to? Even if a fallen minister falls, they want to remove that minister so fast. Okay, he does not deserve our mercy. He's evil. But you know what? But a flawed man like Trump gets all the mercy. To me, either you give everybody mercy or you give nobody mercy. Jesus came and he gave everybody mercy. So why
It,
aren't we more merciful to every single person than just one person on the planet?
it's itching ears. Do you think the world is fickle? Then is that what you're trying to say?
I think that the world is it's filled with hypocrisy and
Yeah,
fickle, but it's hypocrisy. It really is. It's and the church is filled with hypocrisy. We either teach the feel-good gospel, we teach the political gospel, or we teach the prosperity gospel. They don't teach the true gospel that Jesus came with grace for all to be saved, and there isn't anybody too far from his. That's the true gospel, the love of Jesus. And no, the political gospel is hate and rhetoric and leaning toward one agenda or the other. The prosperity gospel is, if you're not wealthy, you have sin in your life. You're supposed to be wealthy. They don't realize Jesus was a nomad who had no wealth. He walked with money. Yes, he had a money bag. But which apostle, please tell me, which apostle died in a castle or in a mansion? They didn't have them. And which apostle was rich when he died? They gave everything to Jesus. They gave it all for the kingdom. They didn't give him the money. They gave everything. They gave up everything and followed Jesus. So for anybody to preach the prosperity gospel, it's not here. It's there. That's what we're supposed to be building. And then the other one was the watered down, feel good gospel, that everything is okay, But I'm into the truth of the gospel, where Jesus loved everyone, and the thing that I'm amazed at, I was several people get mad at me because on my post I always say Jesus extended mercy to everyone, and they said no, he extended mercy to only those who ask for forgiveness. No, tell me one person in the Bible, and maybe you know one, that actually said, "Forgive me." None of them said, "Forgive me." Jesus showed mercy before any of them said, "Forgive me." He
Because
put the ear. He put the ear on the guy who was the soldier who was taking him away.
I
Okay, that
remember
was
that.
mercy. Okay, the guy never even said, "I'm sorry, you rescued me." He didn't even say it. The woman who was getting stoned, Jesus wrote in the sand and said, "Where's your accusers?" They got rid of all of them. Those with that's in cast first stone. Then he says, "Where's your accusers?" And then he says, "I don't accuse you either. Go and sin no more." She never even said, "Forgive me." The guy on the cross said, "Remember me." I think we have a warped sense of that we need to show mercy to people only if they ask for forgiveness, because Jesus extended.
I get you.
You know
I
where I'm
know.
coming from.
Yeah, no, I know exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah,
Um,
so we need to extend mercy, because when I stand before God, I want to see mercy in my account. I don't want. It says, "Blessed are the merciful; they shall obtain mercy."
right. Um, so all of everything that you've told on this show, your ministry is acting and singing and I'm going to cut and modeling. Okay,
Yeah.
and but you can, yes, it's a form of entertainment. It gets people's attention, just like the parables, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
that Jesus told. It was to get your attention for the real
Yeah.
message. So that's what I'm getting from you. Am I accurate?
At 100%. I mean, people could serve the Lord. It says the kingdoms of this world will become the kingdoms of our God. Some people think that they are supposed to just be in full-time ministry. A lot of people aren't called to ministry. So,
No.
and for us, we saw that, the kingdoms of this world were the acting, the comedy, the variety shows, the concerts that we were doing, the modeling. So we took over those kingdoms for the kingdom of our God.
That makes sense.
And
I've never heard it quite put like that.
thanks you.
Yeah. Where can we find you?
I'm actually in South Carolina, and I'm looking for bookings. So if anybody wants to book me, feel free to book me. I come in
Okay.
and I minister through word, song, and testimony. And yeah, so
So, and online, where can we find you?
Chrisagis Ministries.org
Okay.
is my website, and you can look it up, and then you can also watch. I pressed on, the links are on that as well.
Oh, excellent. So it's like a link tree type of deal?
Yes, yes.
That helps. That helps a lot. It gets scattered all over the place. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, that's excellent. Um, I want to talk to you more. Um, get in touch with you and talk to you more about the I Press On show and different things. Uh, Maybe I could help out somehow. I'd
I
love to
would
do
love that.
that.
I'm also part of the, which is funny. I now am working with Steve Bell, which is Christian Bell,
Oh, okay.
and I'm the entertainment editor of the magazine. For I think that's what they call me. I get the entertainment part. We did a tribute issue article to Lonnie Anderson. Jennifer O'Neill has been in the thing. Charlene Tilton's going to be on it. Different people from that are my friends have done stories on. I just started, and Russ Taff has been in there, and I'm working on several other ones. Bruce Carroll, do you remember Bruce Carroll?
Remind
Uh,
me.
Sometimes Miracles High. The song with him and Ricky Skaggs wrote that song. The driving nails. Do you remember he
I
won a
think that's familiar.
Grammy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if you go back, he's got some of the best Christian music that everyone will hear. And just wonder was I have really been blessed to have such a wonderful group of people in Christian music, but also in Hollywood that have been friends with ours, and I can call on
Excellent.
them. So
Yeah.
that's a blessing.
All right. Well, listen, you stay with me. Don't go away yet, okay? I want to thank you, Brian, for being on Real Actors, Real Answers. It's been a blessing, a revelation, and a lot of peace. I tell you what. So thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir.